Shit, what's this podcast called?
Discourse of Human Events.
The discourse is just crazy.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. I wanna look and feel years younger, baby. I wanna look.
1, 2, 3.
Dildos!
Okay, so your question was why the beard?
Yeah.
So you know how it all started?
No.
I woke up one day
Story to it?
and I hadn't shaved.
The tail of the beard.
I haven't shaved in like 3 or 4 days. And I woke up and go, man, I have to shave. Like, this looks bad. And I'm like, wait, I work in a fucking call center. I'm not gonna shave. I'm just not gonna shave. I've never grown a full beard. I'm just gonna grow a full beard. And that's pretty much it. So basically laziness started it all.
So, I feel like this is like, so you always had to be clean shaven when you're at an insurance salesman, right?
Yeah, so pretty
this
much.
is like pent up, not giving a shit, letting itself out.
Exactly.
I see.
And the catalyst was pure laziness.
I do think after, like, I retire, I will go at least 1 year without shaving.
It,
What?
yeah.
Chloe doesn't know about my plan, but I'm definitely going to do it.
And it's not
Well,
just
you
the
might
beard,
see
but my hair.
your
I haven't.
beard in your dream. You're really weird.
I didn't tell you, I'm also not going to take a shower for a year.
I like it. Bold.
And you
I
gotta
support
be
his
the best.
decisions.
What the part that you don't know is someday someone will be secretly drugged and woke up in the bathtub.
And missing a kidney.
Found that very convenient, sir.
So are you going to keep it going, or you think you will shave it before you come to the wedding?
I'll probably keep the beard. I'll just probably shave it down. I'll probably have to regrow it.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure we want you to meet my future in-laws with a huge beard.
I've already shaved it a little bit.
Is his brother a serial killer?
Serial killer.
He looks like he belongs to the Manson
I was
family.
about to say, somebody else said Charles Manson the other day.
Yeah, you totally... I saw... Chloe showed me your picture on Facebook. You totally look like fucking Charles Manson or something.
That's the look I was going for. Next up is
You know
my
what?
swastika
Before you
tat.
come and visit the in-laws, get a Nazi tattoo on your forehead, too. A little swastika.
Working
Manson
on it.
actually has that. Charles Manson.
Man, really?
Yeah, well, he's in prison, so what does he care? He doesn't have to go to a job interview or anything.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to get a job. Let's even say he didn't have the swastika tattoo. Let's just say, so, it says here your name is Charles. Charles Manson?
I see you're wanted for multiple counts of homicide.
Wait.
You know what? I like that can-do attitude. You're hired.
You got the job. Let's be fair to Charles Manson. Yes, I said those words.
Yes.
Okay.
You're in charge.
I don't know if he was ever convicted of murder. Wasn't it just like conspiracy to commit murders?
I'm not that familiar with the whole story. I thought he did, or he got his cult to do the murders for him, maybe?
But exactly. But are you a murderer if somebody else does it for you?
You know what? I feel like he should get a job in marketing if he can convince that many people to murder for him.
That's a good
Like,
point.
He should be someone who's running the pyramid scheme and selling stuff. Be very successful.
I don't, like, something's weird about certain women because, like, that one bomber all of a sudden had a bunch of fans writing him love letters and stuff when he did the Florida shooting. I think we talked about this last time.
No, like, all of them get, like, if they survive, they get these creepy-ass women.
Like, who are these
They're really
women?
into it.
I have no idea. I only heard them on the newspaper, though.
So instead of, when I was single, instead of using dating apps, I should have just gone on a mass shooting spree to get women.
Yeah.
Duh.
Actually surviving it. That's kind of hard.
I think it's somewhat just the power of fame.
Yeah.
That, like, so
That's a
if
good
you're
point.
known to 1 million women, I mean, applying the odds, at least one of them are going to be fucking crazy and want you.
And then times it by the 350 million population, you got a ridiculous number.
You're going to get a couple of fucking nutcases that are like, oh, you know, I don't know. I want his picture. I want to meet that guy.
What?
Well,
I just wanted to kind of meet that kind of person. Like, who is that person that is that so un life?
Yeah. Like, do they have a normal job? Like, have I ever met somebody in real life that has a super crush on a serial killer?
That'd actually make it more intriguing.
That'd be really creepy.
That'd be so much more intriguing.
But that's not something they bring up during lunch.
God, I just want to fuck Charles Manson.
Yeah. So what did you do this weekend? Oh, I went fishing. How about you? Oh, I wrote love letters to the mass murderer you guys read about a week ago. Okay.
Go on.
Just wrote my pen pal. Oh my god. For real though, like what has happened in your childhood? Like that can't be something that is born out of a normal childhood.
Yeah, no.
No, he has a normal childhood and wants to fuck serial killers. What's that?
Maybe they're people that are... Okay.
I said some crazy are born to be.
Yeah. I would say maybe they're people themselves that are on the verge of like a murder spree. Like they're inches away from doing it themselves and they're like, hey...
Let me study your experience.
Awesome, you went through with it. I haven't quite had the courage. Or I'm just lazy.
I don't think it is though. I don't think that would be the same. I think there's something else, some other weird psychology going on there. Of like maybe the power and like you said, the fame that they have from that.
No, I think some women just like to live dangerously.
Yeah, they like the bad boy.
Bad boy mystique.
But like to a ridiculous degree. Like, oh, he's such a bad boy, he might just murder me in my sleep.
Hooray! The logic.
Did Jeffrey Dahmer get love letters? Wasn't he like actually kind of hot?
What?
Jeffrey Dahmer? No, I thought he looked terrible.
One of them was like that. I thought it was Dahmer.
I think he was considered very nice.
No, there was an attractive
He doesn't
one.
look bad, but he doesn't look
There was a
hot.
serial killer that was considered attractive.
No. But no, he was always known as being extremely nice and very, like, just sociable.
To be fair, that was his, like, a court picture. Do you guys have, like, a normal picture?
It wasn't Dahmer I'm thinking of then. Who is it?
Well, that's not him, right? That's impersonation.
Oh. That's him?
Yeah, not bad looking.
Oh, okay. It didn't look bad.
Yeah.
Well, I think he had body parts in his fridge.
I see.
I tell you what, I don't look at Jeffrey Dahmer and think, well...
Yes, you're okay.
Yeah, when I see his prison photos, it looks more like it, but...
What was the name of the guy that shut up the Batman movie?
Oh, yeah, that dude.
Mr. Joker, I don't know.
Like, I'm gonna Google Batman shooter. What about this hunk? James Holmes. Google James Holmes.
Oh my god.
You can tell there's something very wrong with that man.
Dude, it's just his eyes, though. If it wasn't for his hair, like normal color...
There's truth to the eyes are the windows to the soul.
Yeah.
Because you can look at him and be like, that's not normal. That dude is not having normal people thoughts.
That eye is like...
Oh yeah, here he is without the
crazy
thing.
hair, right? But look at his eyes. His
eyes!
Have one-way ticket to hell.
Literally, just his eyes are literally like, if I were to make a cartoon and it had a serial killer in it, I would say, draw this guy's eyes. These are the eyes I need.
Looks like it's really bulging out.
His hair just really adds to the whole crazy factor.
Remember the hair that looks like lasagna? That's the hair that looks like lasagna.
Looks like lasagna. It looks like, you know how people like spray paint their cars with flames? That's like, looks like what somebody did to his hair.
They probably have leftover paint. What I'm gonna do is that's a quarter can.
There's something that makes it even crazier that they didn't get the roots. Like, you can still see his normal colored hair underneath.
What, do you expect him to really spend a lot of time on this? It doesn't even make any goddamn sense in the first place.
Dude.
You know what I need to do before I go shoot up a theater? Dye my hair orange. That makes perfect logical sense, doesn't it?
I think he had the orange hair before he shot up the school, and then it grew in, so he didn't keep up with it.
Ah,
I
okay.
see.
That might be.
So what we learned here is he
Either way, it's
didn't
fucking
maintain his hair dye.
I guarantee you, if there was death sentence and if he was asked, "What is your last wishes?" I want to touch up on
I want to touch up my roots.
Go like this.
It's driving me
Now,
crazy.
see, that's not your Jason Bateman Psycho.
No.
You know? Like American Psycho, the guy was always
Yeah.
very keeping up with his appearance, like, very conscientious.
That was more a Jeffrey Dahmer
That's just
style.
plain old crazy.
Jeffrey Dahmer was more of that style. I don't know. I think there
Yeah,
might be
seems
something
like it.
somewhat more crazy about the person that tries to, like, maintain normalcy, like, pretend to be normal. Like, at least this guy knew he was crazy.
No, I don't think he... I don't know. That's a good question. Do crazy people know they're crazy?
That's a very good question. I don't think so. Though.
Yeah. I don't think either of them knew. I think they don't have any access to the conception of normal behavior.
I think they know they are different. At least working with, like, schizophrenics and stuff, they know they're not right, but it's like they can't help the fact that they're crazy. But if you, like, judge them for being crazy, they're like, look, I know I have issues. Like, there's no way they don't know
They're
it.
self-aware, but they cannot correct their behavior.
Yeah, they don't think there's anything wrong with who they are, though. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, they know they're different than other people. But if you have voices in your head, and you know other people don't, it doesn't matter because you've always had voices in your head, so that it's hard for you to conceptualize what it's like to not have voices in your head. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean, because I have voices in my head, so it's hard for me to understand the people that don't.
It's really hard for me to conceptualize not having these voices in my head.
I'm trying to understand what you mean by that other people that don't have them.
Somebody actually,
Something that you want to tell me about?
somebody talked about schizophrenia in the way that made me understand it a lot more. Where, you know, like, when you're doing something and you have, like, a thought, but it's like your voice telling you the thought, you know what I mean? You know
they
it's
don't have
you.
the connection that it's them.
Yeah, there's a disconnection.
I've heard that.
And it's somebody, it seems like somebody else is telling them that. And so if you have, like, a negative thought about yourself, like, you're looking at me like, oh man, you look stupid. But you know it's you thinking that. To them, it's somebody else in their head saying that. But it's technically actually them. The problem in their brain is it's a different voice. Or it is
Yeah,
them.
I've heard this.
Yeah.
So they have lots of voices, and they don't know who to connect these random thoughts to, so it's...
I think it's
somebody
all
else.
them. And when they say voices,
Yeah,
they
it's
just have
obviously
disassociation.
all them, because there's only one brain.
But what I'm saying is, it's not like they have, like, a little girl's voice, you know what I mean? I think it's their voice, it's their tone. Like, I don't know, when you think inside your head, I don't hear a different voice or anything. Like, I don't hear my actual voice.
I know I attribute it to me.
Yeah, it's who you
It's just
attribute
they
it
don't
to.
attribute it to anybody else.
Exactly. Which is weird.
Or to themselves.
So,
Yeah, I mean, did you ever... It's just, I don't know, crazy how the brain kind of works in ways you would never really think based on the ways it screws up. Like, did you ever read the book, like, The Man That Mistook His Wife for a Hat?
What?
yeah. He had
Yeah.
parapagnosia.
Yeah.
He couldn't recognize faces anymore.
No, he couldn't... No. It's not that he couldn't recognize faces. He couldn't connect his visual perceptions to, like, what they were unless he stopped and thought about it. So he once tried to grab... He knew he had a hat. His wife was in the room. He was wanting to leave the room real quick, so he tried to grab his wife and put her on his head, like, just as if that was his hat.
No, that or prosopagnosia, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I
So...
wonder what his wife thinks.
Well, no, she brought him to the place because he's like... He's
I know,
fucking losing his
seriously
mind.
wrong.
Yeah, I was mixing up that one with prosopagnosia. Prosopagnosia is like you just can't recognize people by their faces, so you associate objects with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, this is my brother because he tends to wear X clothes or whatever. So if they wear different
Right.
clothes, you're like, I don't know who the fuck this is because I don't recognize faces. He had something different where he just disassociated or something.
Yeah, it's a lot of them are really rare. The guy that wrote the book only does the super rare ones.
Yeah. That was
or talks about them because they're interesting.
It really is interesting though when you hear about brain matters, like when they go awry, like the Phineas Gage guy. Just complete change of personality after a spike went through his head.
Yeah. And I don't know, just personally, you can kind of experience some, just either, on something, or even, you haven't slept.
True.
You didn't get a good night's sleep, and then you're not perceiving things the way that you would if you were awake.
Yeah.
Or, you're just out of it.
That was actually, they had a...
it's weird. I don't know.
There was a sleep scientist on Joe Rogan the other day, and he was talking about this, and he was talking, sleep deprivation is basically just brain damage, and your brain eventually has to sleep, so what you're experiencing, when people, go without sleep for multiple days, the thing that is happening, the illusions that they're experiencing, is because their frontal cortex stops, doing logical reasoning with what's happening. And they say this is the same thing that happens when you sleep. When you sleep, the first thing that goes is your frontal cortex. So you you can't explain things that are going on, and that's why dreams are so weird and awkward. And you it's like this is your house, but yet it doesn't look anything like your house. Weird stuff like that happens. That's the same thing that happens when you stay up.
That's another one of the diseases. Is in that book, The Man Mistook His Wife for a Hat, is, they'll come in, and they'll see, their wife or their son, and they'll recognize that's my wife or that's my son, but they won't actually believe it.
Oh, yeah, that's totally a dream thing.
They'll be like, that is an impersonator. That is an incredibly good impersonator. But they don't have the feelings they associate with that person. Have somehow been disconnected, so they think that looks exactly like my mother, but I don't feel the way about her that I feel about my mother, so it must not be my mother.
Isn't that's so weird?
So there's they I think they even know kind of where there's a little disconnect in the brain, where some visual processing is disconnected from some emotional processing, and it's now that's one of the symptoms.
Okay, if you had to get one of those sort of disorders, you're about to do some surgery and it's going to cause one of these brain disorders. Which one would you want over?
Oh, I totally want synesthesia.
What's that?
That's the one where you feel 3 is green.
Oh, you feel numbers have color associations? That one?
Or you just have things tied together that aren't normally tied together. You could have strong emotional responses to...
Do you have that a little bit already? Because I kind of have that.
Maybe a little, but not... I don't feel anything where I've read people will be 7's an evil number.
No, it's not it's not
8
that
is
deep.
Amazing. 9, I feel like I've known him a long time.
So
it's none of that shit. No, that's really weird.
9's my home dog.
But it'd be really interesting.
I have that though, obviously to a smaller degree, but when I picture the number 3, I always picture red. The number 7 to me is always green.
The closest thing I would say is sometimes I just dislike certain words. I just think they sound stupid.
Like?
No, exploded.
Exploded?
I don't know why. Yeah, because it's the duh.
Exploded does sound kind of stupid. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I don't know. And I don't know. Sometimes I just will phrase things because I don't like the way that they sound.
No, I get that. I mean, when I write, there's certain things I can't write because that just sounds stupid, and it's not necessarily other people would think that.
Do you have anything like that, Chloe? Something you wouldn't think is what normal people think, but
it's kind of weird because you guys only speak one language, right? That you have this strong feeling associated with words in your mother tongue, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? Things can be pretty different if you speak more than one language.
Is there anything in Chinese that you just think sounds not that the word, the meaning is dumb or anything like that. Just like the way that it sounds, you just don't like the word.
No, I don't have a particular feeling.
Because I definitely do.
I do have opinions on how people to phrase things. I do think certain things are phrased very illogically.
That's different. Like, just express things in the right way that makes sense. Like, that's, I think, logical.
Yeah, that's just actually a legitimate thing.
Yeah.
There are some words that sound particularly vulgar, but it still depends on the meaning. It's not the sound of it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's entirely illogical. I think, I remember reading they did, like, experiments where they will, like, draw two little drawings, doodles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one's really rounded, right?
Yeah.
Like, say, like a flower with a bunch of round corners, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they'll draw one that's really sharp edges.
Yeah.
Right? A bunch of sharp edges, kind of the same idea, right?
Okay.
And then they have two nonsense words, and they ask people to assign these nonsense words to these drawings.
Yeah.
And the one with sharp sounds always gets assigned to the sharp one, like kalukish, kush, kusk. You know, like ends like that. But fluffla would be assigned to the circular one that's not quite as sharp. So people will kind of...
There's definitely an association with especially harsh sounds and soft sounds. Like, when you're talking about your lover, you don't say, man, I love that cunt. Like, you don't... Cunt is a big, hard word. Love is a soft word.
Think of all those, like, curse words. Fuck, bitch.
Yeah, they're all...
Like, they all end in or like sharp sounds.
Yeah, that's definitely no coincidence.
Exactly. So there's some internal mapping between, like, people's, I don't know, you want something to say something kind of nice, and it, you know...
Well, because when you stub your toe, I think you need
lovely things with lovely things. Like, I don't know.
Well, when you stub your toe or you're mad, you need something that's hard-hitting. You're not going to say, fluffy. Well, fluffy maybe. That kind of does have a harsh sound to it, actually.
Fluffy? No, that doesn't
the
sound
F
harsh
part
at all.
does.
Maybe.
Yeah, fluffy is actually kind of a... That's actually kind of a harsh sound, actually. You like S's and L's are soft.
I think it goes along with men and women's names, too. That's kind of why women's name always ends in a vowel in almost all the languages, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's
They totally do.
Yeah.
So, because English is 26 different characters, obviously, right? So, the only how they are put together is making connections to your brain, right? That's why you have different sounds. How they basically how they organize, right? And they're making different sound, and then your brain has association with those sounds. Right? So the way I'm looking at it for my mother tongue's perspective, right? Because we have so many different characters. So the pronunciation doesn't really matter that much when you can distinguish words in the other ways. So
I'm losing you.
Like, you have associations, with, like, emotional association with how the words sound, right? I'm saying is, rather than associations with sound, because in Chinese it has different way of writing the characters. So the visual response, rather than the sound responses, is also making an impression. So sort of like making the sound responses not as pronounced.
Because you have a visual representation. In
Right.
But I don't know. I would imagine there's still some sound. Like, do you think it's a coincidence that in Chinese it's Fu Chin, right? Fu for your father, and Mu Chin for your mother, and it's Ma.
Yeah.
Like, they're both, I don't know, they happen to both be...
Hey, this was actually
same phonetic sound, right?
This is an etymology question that we were thinking about. I forget who this came up with, but we were talking about, so obviously, like, the languages, like English and Spanish and all those languages all derive from Latin. What did China derive from? Like Chinese and all the Asian languages. Like, they all popped up there on their own, right? Like, they were just kind of...
Yeah,
Most others are derived from Chinese. Chinese is more.
That's what I said. I was like, I'm assuming Chinese is probably the base for most other languages.
Mm-hmm.
So you're having like a calligraphy, right? When in the ancient time, and then it sort of evolved into different characters just because of the way they look, right? You can still kind of trace back from judging by the characters how they look, and you go back and guessing what's the meaning of it. That's what I'm talking about for the visual responses. So, for example, if you see some words like, there's a certain characters, right? Like a part of a character that's being used in a different word. Like if you have never come across with that word before, and it was different combination, but when you spotted that one, you immediately know that this is a bad word. But you don't know how exactly bad it is, but you know it's a bad word.
Spotting it visually, how it's written.
Yeah. Yeah, because, when you're young, you learn the characters. Obviously, you don't have a whole lot of base in your mind, right? So you know, like, the part of the word, you can kind of guess what it looks like. For example, all the vegetation starts with, like, one dash and two sort of dots on the top.
Vegetation starts with one dash and two on the top?
Yeah, I can sort of join you. Can you share the screen?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. Hold on.
Okay.
Actually, I wanted to actually do something, but yeah. Let's do that too. Brush. Here, pencil. There we go. Go.
Are you sharing the screen here? What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. She'll share in a second.
So this?
That's always some sort of vegetation, like a plant.
Yeah. I'm using simplified Chinese here, so
So it looks like a tic-tac-toe board, but the bottom line isn't finished.
Yeah, basically. But all like any plant will start with that as a base and add stuff, and then you'll know what kind of plant.
Usually,
it is.
right?
Okay.
Like for example, orchid. Right? It's something like that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So Nick, why did you bring up paint and share screen instead of just using the paint that's basically built in with the program?
Oh, well, because I actually wanted to do another thing.
Ah, okay.
Clear the screen.
So I had an idea that I thought would be interesting. Based on what Chloe says, and based on completely different histories between the Western world and the Eastern world.
Yes.
I was going to ask you to draw a house. Like a kid, like what would a kid draw a house like?
That's actually a great
And I want
idea.
Chloe to do the same, and I would like to compare
You know
them.
exactly how I would draw a house, too.
Exactly. I know exactly what a Western child would draw a house
Yeah.
like. Like what would a 5-year-old, if you said, draw your
I'm going to draw exactly
house
what...
for a 5-year-old.
Just the house, though.
What would they do? Yeah.
You want me to bring up paint and just draw my house?
Uh-huh. Yep. This is a 5-year-old?
Uh-huh.
Oh, let me get my mouse so it's not too
Oh, I'm terrible at this. Oh, by the way, I wrote the wrong character earlier.
Okay,
It was wrong. Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna...
Characters.
I don't think that matters. Hold on, I got...
Not like that.
You think that's what a 5-year-old would draw?
Yeah. Oh, maybe
Also higher standards.
it's also another way I would draw it was like this. Yeah.
Alright, I drew my shitty version.
I know exactly what's true. So we're going to share you this one first.
Why is it 3D?
Yeah, that's what I said. 5-year-olds aren't drawing in 3D, Chloe.
Fine.
I think
Why
you
is there
do
6 windows?
Yeah,
I
that's...
didn't finish.
Yeah, it goes up. Because most children in China would live in an apartment building.
Ah.
So it would be that, and it would be completely flat on top. And that's mostly what you see. If you're not rural, you see something like that.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
see houses like in America.
Yeah, so for listeners,
Now
she
that-
basically drew an apartment building.
So I lived with my grandparents in the rural area for quite some time. So on the left-hand side, I think it's also legitimate.
You really do think a 5-year-old would draw that?
Maybe not 3D, but it's like its basic shape, right?
But what about... So there's a window on the side. Why not on the front here? There's no windows on the front?
Well, I didn't finish.
But you would have drawn both on the side and on the front to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Zach's going to have a square. You know what? I'm just going to draw what Zach drew.
Just draw it. There's a square and a triangle put together.
Yep. He'll probably do this.
Yep.
He'll do this. Then he'll do this.
Yep.
Then he'll do this.
Yep.
And there's just going to be this. I mean, I did it much poorer, and he may have put a chimney like that.
No chimney. No chimney on this one.
But sometimes they do that.
Yeah, sometimes you do.
Kids. Can you share what you had, Zach,
Yeah.
just so I can say I knew exactly what he would draw?
Quite precisely what I drew.
See?
Wow, we got brothers.
No, it's not brothers. Every Western.
Yeah, no, that's not brothers thing. You
Everyone
guys
in the
need
West.
to draw
Fine,
this quick.
fine. Draw a tree, Zach.
Draw a tree? I'll draw. No, wait. We'll stop sharing screen, Zach. I want Chloe to draw a tree, and I'll draw the tree that you draw.
Okay.
Zach. Again, 5-year-old. Because I know we'll draw it the exact same way.
It's so crazy.
Go.
I already drew my tree. It doesn't take much. And there's a variant too that we might do.
That's pretty close to what the Western one is. Zach will do this.
I can't see your screen.
I know, I'm not going to share.
Oh.
I'm going to show you what you drew, because I know what you're going to draw. There you go.
Yep.
Yours is on the left. That's the one you drew.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's Chloe's.
So Chloe's
See,
is
it's a bit
more
different.
like a popsicle.
A blob.
Like a...
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't look like mine. It's not as floofy as a Western tree. It's more straight.
So Nick drew
Maybe
basically
I've seen
the
one first.
trunk, and then you start on the left and basically draw a clown's wig around it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, clown's wig. That's a good way of putting it. Can you share yours just so I can show Chloe how good I am at predicting exactly what you do?
Yeah, I would have known this too, though. Like, it is very obvious as a Westerner what we'll draw.
Yeah.
In fact,
See, I know exactly.
the house with the tree would be,
every Westerner.
hey, draw your house. That would be basically what a 5-year-old would draw.
Okay.
How about? Okay. What?
There,
I had another one. I was gonna go the sun. Do you think your sun will be different?
Will the sun be different?
For her. I know what my.
No.
I'm gonna be surprised if the sun will be different. If it's the same, we're not gonna continue.
I'll draw the 2 variants.
Oh shit! It's definitely different. 2 variants?
Yeah, I mean, they're not really that different.
It's very close to what. That's what we'll draw. Guaranteed.
I was gonna say, it doesn't seem like the sun would be different because we all experience the same.
It's
sun.
different. She drew something different.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's not
Her
the sun
sun
the
is
Westerners
different?
draw. Yeah.
What? I'm so ready to see this now.
All right.
This is a good experiment.
Yeah, I'm having fun with this. This is what she drew.
The fuck is
So
happening?
for the listeners, she
Oh,
drew.
it's a spiral.
I drew obviously the Western circle with the little dashes.
Yeah.
Now Chloe, in her Eastern mind, did have the dashes, but it's a spiral instead of a circle.
The
Why is it spiral? Like, you think all Asians actually would draw spiral?
No, I just remember just reading the kids' book.
And they
drew it that way.
Yeah.
They always drew it as a spiral.
Wow, that's so...
That's interesting.
Huh.
I'm trying to think something else very basic that you'd... Zach, just confirm, you drew this circle with the little dashes.
I don't need to share
I
my
know what
screen.
you drew.
The other one I had was basically, normally you draw it in like the corner, so you only draw like the corner of it. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
How about a cloud?
Cloud.
God,
I know what a cloud will look like.
I did not think our suns would be different.
Yeah, I didn't either. Now I want to see how she draws a cloud.
Dying.
Go for a cloud.
Cloud drawn.
Spiral. Suns are spirals.
Yeah, that's so... What?
You know, I'll say clouds basically the same. That's basically what we do for clouds. There's no
It's just
difference.
basiced the clown's wig
No,
complete,
wait.
right?
Oh, okay.
No,
Well, she put a happy face on the cloud, which is pretty Japanese, based on the video games we play. What else? What else would be really basic that a kid would know? Dog's a little too complex of a thing to draw.
Human. Like,
Yeah, it's
people.
just a stick figure. Would you not draw a stick figure?
Probably stick figure.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think those are mostly what kids draw. In the basic forms. A car.
Flower.
How would you draw
Flower?
a car
Okay.
or a flower? Car and flower.
We're going to draw flower.
Draw both. Draw.
Cars is still a bit too complex.
We're going
Not
back
really.
episode.
Not
Yeah,
for a
5-year-old
kid.
draws a flower.
Kids draw cars.
You know exactly. Nah, that's basically the same. That's what we draw. Yeah, she drew the same flower that we all draw.
The circle with the
Just
clown's
the-
wig around it.
Yep. And 2 little leaves off the stem.
Yeah, I
Exactly
didn't get to
2.
my leaves.
But it's interesting that, you know, a house is a bit different. Sun's
I'm
definitely
shocked the
different.
sun was different.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, I think I might got some influence from some of the Japanese book that I saw.
Well, I'm sure that's where we get our drawings from too, is from children's books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just the way everyone draws it, very simply.
You know, I do remember, like, back when I was a kid, there was actually a show of, like, I'm pretty sure it was from America. Like, some dude was drawing very simple figures on a sketchboard. I mean, he actually does it pretty well. I remember, like, it does the ice cream cones really, really nicely. Yeah, so, I mean, it's really depends on how you influence when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Is there anything else basic? Not drawing. But is there anything basic?
Basic as when you grow up, that would be weird and different.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, from a conceptual standpoint, that you think it's very different between Asian and Westerns.
You know how you're not supposed to talk back to appearance?
Yeah. But that's just, I mean, I'm trying to think of something that's not just some stereotype we know. Like conception of the world.
Like, just how you view everything.
Yeah.
Very good question.
Is China still like individual focused or group focused, like Japan?
They're definitely group focused. Right?
Things has been changing. I
More
mean,
individualistic.
Yeah, if the time that I was born, definitely around that time it was more of like for a group. But nowadays seems not more individual because everyone's on their own, right? I would say like nowadays we're more capitalist.
But it's
than
not
you guys.
entirely as individualistic. Like, say your parents said, "Give me $50,000," and you have it. Do you do it?
What?
If they ask you for a bunch of money,
My parents asked
and
me
it's
for
like
money.
everything you have, but they say they don't even tell you why they need it. Just wire it to me.
No, I
or maybe
they
they-
need to ask for a reason.
But
The
if they
reason's
don't-
legitimate,
If they just have an investment or something.
investment.
Yeah. I mean, how good of a reason? do you need? Not like I'm dying in the hospital and I need this and
No,
need
it's
this.
not investment. So, like, if it's medical bill, I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
But if it's just, I don't know. I just feel like
you know,
things get shared within the family more in China.
Yeah,
That would be my
I mean,
guess,
I've
more
seen
easily.
examples where the son was paying off mother's gambling debt. For
Yeah.
example, like I do see that.
Exactly.
Probably for Westerns, the kids already abandoned the parents.
Mm.
Yeah. So there's that, and also there's the parents were asking their daughters to pay for their sons' stuff.
Their daughters pay for their sons' stuff.
Really?
See, that's something
That's
that would
way
never
different, yeah.
happen in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean that's not just China, right? That's happens. I would say like
Not
it's
in
a
the
pretty
West.
common thing on the Eastern Asian countries.
So a
where they
sister
respect the
sometimes
men
would
more than the
pay
But
for a
even
brother?
even if the daughter is married,
yeah.
I thought- then it's like it's not even their money. It's the family's
It's really
money.
fucked
It's the
up.
one
You
they
should
belong
read
to.
some of the story. I mean, to be fair, you probably couldn't read it 'cause it's in Chinese. But
Yeah, I know. But
yeah,
I didn't know
there are
they do that.
stories where their parents say like, oh, when we die, you two girls are never going to get any money. All their belongings left for the son.
Mhm.
And then in the end, when this son decided to like you know what? I don't have to take care of you. You have 2 daughters. Let your
Damn.
2 daughters take care of you.
I got a question.
Those kind of shit that happens.
Is divorce a big thing in China?
What?
Is divorce a
Divorce?
big thing in China?
Pretty common. Yeah.
50%?
I don't know about 50%. I really couldn't put a number on it. I haven't been reading the statistics. But, like,
Well, it's
as far as
very
I know,
close to 50%
among,
in the U.S.
among all the people that I know of, in our generation, I already heard a couple divorces. And from my mom's generation, yeah, there's divorces. Especially when the couples have been getting along pretty well when they're young and poor, and after they got some established businesses going on, and then either one party cheated or both parties cheated or whatever, or just couldn't put up with each other after their kids went to school. They decided, like, fuck it, I'm done.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I think if I would say in my time in Asia and just interacting with Asians that I think I see is way more than Western is go with the crowdism.
Go with crowdism.
Yeah, you can't be wrong if you do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Westerners definitely have a strong, they're all wrong and I'm right.
Go against the grain, yeah.
Yeah, Asians, that's not in them. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just an outlook that's not there.
I think it's largely based off from the.
Do you go against the grain just to make it real awkward for them all?
No.
I do. Her and all her friends are doing something. I'm like, nah, let's do. No, I don't.
So the thing is, like, for the country with that long history and that long culture.
That long totalitarianism is what I would say. The people that were going against the grain are all in mass graves.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
That'll really form your behavior.
That is sticking out.
Yeah.
Guess who's they going to kill?
Exactly. There's that mentality in Asia.
There is even a fucking book that you're required to read if you are trying to be a government official.
And guess what?
In China, it's called "Be in the Middle."
Guess what Americans did? They didn't go with the crowd. They said, "Fuck you, British. We kind of like it over here."
I think it's just. I don't think the America in general. I think it's just the Western. Like Galileo wrote, "Fuck you, the church. I think you're wrong." The Earth revolves around the sun.
Listen here, you dumbasses.
I also have, like, my 2 cents of input is that because of geological locations, right? We're surrounded by a large area with ocean. On the other side is the Mongolians. And on this side is mountains, right? So you really couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, you're definitely
isolated.
Just like, you're isolated in your own areas, and then when you reach a population density of A high, right, you couldn't expand. And then you come up with different sort of reasons to control populations.
Well, some of you need to go. What was your opinion again?
Chloe,
I mean, that's pretty fucked up.
do sometimes you just feel like building a wall?
Because the Chinese, they seem to really like the
You
wall.
just have this sudden urge.
Mongolia stuff.
Apparently, the Americans are adopting that strategy.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work though. It might work like during the 1500 BC. I don't know exact time, but
1500 BC? No, it's not that long ago that they built that thing. The Great Wall? No.
Qing Dynasty.
Yeah, that was around 100 BC.
Okay.
But wasn't it built over like a giant period of time anyways?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
That's another thing that's different. They totally learn history way different.
Yeah.
It's all a bunch of cycles.
Yeah,
I learned from like which dynasty and which the emperor is.
Yeah, it's not like
how
years.
many years from the emperor. That you would say like in Tang Dynasty, this emperor called Zheng Guan, and then it'd be like 10 years in Zheng Guan period. That's how you learn.
Yeah, because when the new
the
dynasty comes to power, they're like, "Bitch, this is year 1. This is year 1 of my dynasty. We're starting it all again." That's how totalitarian.
That's kind of how the Romans were. They didn't think of like years. They thought of in the year of blank, and that's whoever was the consuls,
Oh,
you know?
the year of whoever.
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't go by
So-
years.
So, I mean,
I guess so. That's true.
for Europe, right?
Mhm.
It's the geological location determines that you guys can spread in a large area, and then the truth is no power is big enough to control the whole area.
Right.
So split it into different pieces.
Yeah, there were
Everybody
lots of
has
large
to-
political factions.
Right, then you have to work with each other.
There
in
were
order to get the
borders, but they weren't super hard borders. You could cross them just with effort,
Yeah.
which is like, and that you have that in the East. It's just not as much. Like there's got to be some sort of border between you and like Vietnam, and between you and
Oh yeah,
Koreas.
like in the
and that's where the
Asian-
different cultures develop. We just had a lot more of it, like
yeah,
that.
like, God, that's very interesting. You know, when I think about Vietnam, is from the history. If
It's
you,
the hills, right?
you look at the history of Vietnam, it's basically pretty sad, right?
Mm.
It was a bunch of like native settlers over
Mm-hmm.
there, and then the government of China sent troops over. There's killing a bunch of people,
Mm-hmm.
you know, take over or work with whatever native settlers was over there,
Mm-hmm.
and then like after so many iterations,
Mhm.
just like Taiwan, you know, how many of the native blood is still in there?
Mm.
You know, it's just another form of Han people.
I don't know if it's quite. It might
But
be.
you, like, if you take
It's somewhat
Taiwan-
like Ireland is like a good portion of the north is English,
Yeah,
right?
if you took Taiwan as an example, right?
Mhm.
You think about like how China is doing this propaganda of like, yeah, it has been part of the Chinese emperor for like this many long times. You know, that just means like this is an island. They have native settlers over there. We come over, we kill a bunch of people, moved our own Han people over there, and they start to evolve and develop.
They start multiplying.
Yeah, they start multiplying with the native or with whatever, the people that they come with. So, in the end, if you want to trace really back for the native Taiwanese people, they are living up in the mountains. There's not a whole lot of them back in there. And obviously, they don't have enough political power to say yes or no whether they want independent or not. It's pretty ridiculous when you think about it. The same with Native Americans, right? I mean, do they have a say in the Democratic or Republican Party of how policy goes? No, their population is so tiny.
Yeah.
Just,
And they do what you're told.
Yeah.
They should have learned how to use a
Just
broomstick.
sad history. Yeah. Well, the history is controlled by the people who's in power. That's definitely for sure.
It's always true.
Yeah. Just sad story.
Nations weren't built by being nice.
Oh yeah, totally.
Although Canada somehow did that.
Canada is in a very awesome geological location. I mean,
Hey, what do you
okay.
think about starting a country? Oh, this is like a lovely idea. Lovely. Then they wrote a constitution. That's basically how it happened.
That's pretty accurate. That was from the files.
And Britain technically owned it, and they said, "Excuse me, Miss Queen, please, could we please be our own country?"
All right.
Well, since you're so nice about it.
Alright.
They didn't fight a whole war. They were just like, eh.
Well, it's cold over there. Nobody wanted to.
Yeah. So
you might as
basically,
well just like,
the Queen was like, "That's okay. We didn't really want
Like-
it anyways."
Like, really, you want it?
We got a large enough land. I mean, we took the California from Mexicans. It's pretty nice over
Hey, we
there.
even
Like,
took-
Why do you want to like?
We did take stuff from the Canadians. We're like, we kind of want that Alaska up there. We kind of want that.
That's from
Well, that's
Russia.
Russia.
Oh, is that from Russia?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Russia used to have the claim.
What?
We bought it for real cheap.
Seriously, that's where we
Russia's
got that
like-
from? How do I not know
Yeah,
this?
it's owned by Russia. Yeah, I don't know how you didn't know that. This definitely was Russian territory.
When?
Like 1900.
Good
Like-
God, I did not know that.
Before they discovered any crude oil.
Yeah, they totally got taken.
They
It was
totally
worth
got
a-
ripped off. Yeah.
There's
Before
definitely not
we
oil
knew
here.
it was worth so damn much.
Yeah.
I never knew that was Russian territory. I think I just always assumed it was Canadian territory because
they're not just kicking themselves for the oil. That would have been a great invasion point.
Yeah.
Or, like, another place to put missiles.
But it's kind of hard when you have two different land masses separated by ocean to, like, maintain those. You know what I mean?
They could have a bridge.
Just build a
I don't
bridge.
know how big the ocean is between there, but
Apparently,
it's bridgeable.
it's close enough where you can see it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Palin went to the edge and was like, hey, Putin, I see
How you doing over there?
Even though Moscow's on the complete other edge. There's basically nothing near Alaska, that portion. There's like
That's what I mean. Like, that would be hard to maintain those two
bears.
landmasses. That's probably why they're like, those fucking idiots want this piece of land? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because if you were
Yeah, I don't
in the
think they had anything
1900s,
there.
that time, and you look at that piece of land, well, it's obviously not human habitable.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything there. I think they just technically owned it.
Okay, besides oil, name me something good that's come out of Alaska.
I don't know, tourism?
Yeah, it's a pretty place. It's pretty to go.
No. I'm saying something they
Polar
produced,
bears.
some kind of culture, something different. You know, like Hawaii. You can think of things they've produced. They have their own culture and stuff that
Barack Obama?
come out of that. I'm just saying. Like, you can think California. You can
No,
think
they're just tourism. Like, I don't think anything else comes out of Hawaii other than tourism.
No. Hawaii has some pretty good farms. You can buy stuff from them.
Okay, that's true. You get rice from there. I'm pretty sure they grow
Or like Iraq.
certain things.
Yeah,
You can't grow
exactly.
shit in Hawaii.
What does Alaska give you? What?
Fish. They have.
They do have the
definitely-
Alaskan
yeah.
fishing. There it is. That's the one. That's what they have.
Fishing.
And they have ice road truckers. Is that Alaska? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I just assume.
I'm gonna assume it is. I am gonna assume.
We're just gonna go ahead and spread that misinformation and say yes. Did you watch the Infinity Wars?
No.
Are you going to watch it?
How was it? Probably not.
Okay.
It's the third one, right?
I don't fucking know.
How do you not know if you watched
I
it?
didn't watch it. This was just a
I
question
was gonna
for
say,
you.
I think there was a second one. I didn't watch number 2. I watched number 1.
Yeah, I've only seen the
The
first
Avengers.
one.
Yeah. No, I was done with superhero movies like 5 years
Well,
ago.
I was having a conversation with Harry and Corey, and they were talking about it, and they spoiled the ending for me, so I wanted to know if you wanted to hear the ending. Because I totally wanted to hear it, because they actually did something different.
Okay.
So, basically, Thanos has his gauntlet, whatever it's called, that has all the gems in it.
Okay.
The Infinity Gauntlet, maybe? It's probably what it's called.
Uh-huh.
And basically, if you have that, you can rewrite history. Right, so spoilers for people who haven't fucking figured this out by now. So basically, at the end of the movie, he literally Thanos snaps his fingers and rewrites history to destroy half of basically the whole entire universe. Which in turn destroys half of the Avengers. So literally half of the Avengers die. But guess what the next Avengers movie is going to be? Them getting that gauntlet and writing history back.
Okay.
But
how would they know that they need to rewrite history?
Well, they know that the gauntlet rewrites history. They know what it does. They know its power.
But how would
can
they know
alter
that
history.
there's a missing half of the Avengers?
Because they see them all die when he snaps his finger and changes reality.
But if they rewrite history so that they never existed, then they don't.
I don't know if it rewrites history, alters reality, or what it is. But it's quite obvious that that's going to be the next Avengers movie by the plot. But people are all upset about the movie because they haven't thought ahead of the fact that these are billion-dollar properties and they're not actually going to kill any Avengers permanently.
Yeah, you pretty much know the outcome by the fact that they need to make more.
Yeah, exactly. But like Harry said, you got to give them credit that they did something to where they could kill the Avengers and have somewhat of a different take on a superhero movie, at least on the ending that wasn't the same as every other fucking movie. It's kind of like your 5th episode of Star Wars. You finally have, like, the negative thing happens.
Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha.
You know, like, you have to eventually have the heroes lose.
Yeah, to make it mean something.
Yeah, it's which Rocky was that when he loses?
He loses in the first one.
Does he really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, he doesn't win.
I don't remember that at all.
I think he wins in the second one.
What a good movie.
Yeah. This is why it was a good movie.
Yeah. Did you know the history about that too, where the reason he wrote that?
Oh yeah, he wrote it?
Yeah, but the reason why.
No, why did he
So
write
he
it?
wrote it because since he was such a big, bulky, different talking person, he couldn't find any roles in Hollywood that fit him. So he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to write a movie that I can be the actor in.
You know he was in porn before that,
Yes. Which is awesome.
It's quite the life, really, Stallone had.
Yeah, I guess so. I would say Schwarzenegger's a little different. More intriguing.
Yeah, they both had really crazy fucking lives.
When I lift, it's like I'm coming.
Did he say that?
Yeah, you've never heard that clip?
No.
It's so funny. He's talking about
You
lifting.
never would have thought that guy would become the governor of California, huh?
Right? Man, went places. Do you think this 2020 election's gonna have some kind of outrageous running candidate like Trump? I mean,
well, it'll be Trump again if that's outrageous.
no. Well, that obviously is not outrageous anymore if he runs again.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think the way the Democrats definitely win it is if they pick somebody perfectly normal and sane.
Well, that's
And
a hard
non-controversial.
party, man.
Like, Hillary was super controversial.
But-
I mean, she was already the wife of a former president. That's fucking weird.
They've already fucked it up once.
Yeah,
How can
like-
they not do that again? They could definitely do that.
You never know.
If they can come up with a better...
I guess they were trying for Oprah, so that would have been weird.
Oprah? Why?
No, because people would vote for her.
They would.
Oh,
And
they would.
they'd have the black vote for sure.
Yeah.
Well, they have that already. It's more about how many would turn out.
Yeah, that's true. Did you see the infographic that showed, like, if we counted the votes that didn't vote, like, or the absentee votes?
Oh, no, but I'm sure it would destroy
Yeah, it's like basically 70% non-voter turnout. It's like, Jesus, if you could get, like, any small extra percentage to vote, it would be outrageous. What you could do with that. Like, even if you just had a, like, people talk about this, that they still haven't had it. It's weird that there's not, like, a national vote day, like, where you can actually go out and vote.
Oh, yeah. Who do you think would be the most outrageous candidate you could think of?
Like, within reason? Like, obviously...
No, not outside of reason. Not like my dog or
No,
something.
that's what I mean. If you say...
But a
no,
person
that's
that would technically be qualified.
a celebrity
As in-
that would be qualified.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not going to be like Charles Manson running for president.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know if you could commit a... Yeah, I think you could probably commit a crime and be elected. I don't think that's in the Constitution, technically.
You can have felonies. Just think about it. Treason was a felony, so technically they're all treason.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not in the federal government that was formed.
That's
They were
true.
guilty of
That's
treason.
true.
They were in British law.
In British law, they fucked.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of an actual celebrity,
Edward
though,
Snowden.
like somewhat within reality. And
I think anyone from like Jersey Shore.
Snooki,
dude.
that would be the
Yeah,
outrageous
Snooki
one.
for president.
That would definitely be an outrageous one, and should get votes. One of the Kardashians.
Oh, what was Honeyboo Boo's mom?
I don't know her name, but I know what you're talking about because it's always just
Mama June or something
always
like
just-
that.
Honey Boo Boo's mom.
The one that says "Skitty." I want that to be her platform. Skitty in every pot.
Oh no. Oh god, that's terrible.
Nick,
Yeah.
Kanye West.
Kanye, he's actually thought
probably-
He was
was
actually-
ready. He was thinking, consider.
I was about
Yeah.
to say he's actually up in the rankings.
I think he should consider Mama June as a running mate.
Might as well just say the Duck
Honestly,
Dynasty
they get the
people
black
at
vote
this
and
point.
they get the Southern hillbilly vote.
Just say the Duck
They're
Dynasty.
unstoppable together.
Unbelievable.
Oh god. What celebrity do you think would have the best chance of winning?
That's a good question.
I was gonna say Kevin Spacey, but with
What?
rumors,
Even without this controversy, that's a no.
Yeah, he hasn't been political either. I think like George Clooney has been very political, and he's a big Democrat. I think he could actually.
Right? So
he could win.
he has a shot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he has that like people like him, but to vote for him is another thing. I'm thinking like a Tom Hanks character.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Tom Hanks could definitely win it just because both sides seem to like
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. George Clooney's definitely one side likes him type of character.
But no, I'm saying he runs for the Democrat, and I think he brings enough people that are on the middle over. That he
but Tom Hanks, I think, would bring more, whichever party he ran for.
And I really think a comedy actor should run for president. Really,
Yeah, totally.
seems like he knows what he's doing. But again, I think people like him partly because he's not really political at all.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
I don't think that. I think the tone of all of his movies has actually been pro-America.
True.
But not any side, one side or the other.
But it's never like pro-Democrat America or anything. It's just America, let's go fight the Nazis.
It's America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah.
What? Has he made a movie in a long time? So he retired?
No, he wasn't again. He was the captain that landed the plane, and then he was also the captain on a boat.
Dude, that was like 5 years ago or so.
He plays a lot of captains. I think he was a captain in the Army in Saving Private Ryan.
He's actually like a pilot, though, I think. Like in real life.
Yeah. Like
he actually has a pilot license.
I think the guy just has a captain fetish.
Gets off on captaining.
Maybe that's what his wife shouts during sex. He calls him the captain.
It looks like he's just mostly a producer anymore.
Yeah.
Toy Story 4? What? Filming?
Oh, yeah. No comment.
He was just in the movie The Post.
What?
Post? Oh, okay, I know what The Post is.
It's about the Washington Post. That's definitely a Tom Hanks style movie.
It's about the Woodward and Bernstein, right?
I just thought it was about the Washington Post. I don't know specifics.
It's about Nixon. And they're, uncovering
about
the
Watergate
scandal. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Oh shit, he's doing a TV miniseries on Lewis and Clark. That could be good. And 1968.
1968.
That might be good.
Here's a weird question.
It's a lot of historical stuff.
I don't know. So, you have a picture of what like the 60s is like in your head, right?
Yes.
And a picture of the 70s and the 80s. Maybe the 90s.
I have a picture for the 90s. It's definitely that grunge look.
But that's maybe early 90s. But what about 2000s or this decade?
Absolutely not.
Like, can you very clearly differentiate the 2000s and this?
No, because it's like the internet era where people were more like, I don't know how to say it. There wasn't like very outrageous fashions. People are all over the place.
Exactly. Like there weren't. Yeah, I don't know. There wasn't tie-dye of the early 2000s that like doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, there's not
like I don't think like it's changed.
There's not specific. I don't know. It seems like fads are so like there and gone so fast. There's nothing that lasts for a whole decade.
You mean you didn't keep your fidget spinner?
That's actually I do have a fidget spinner at my desk. Yeah, I got it from work, so.
Oh, okay.
I didn't pay for a fidget spinner. Let's not be outrageous now.
But no, I don't know. It just seems like every decade before the last two actually had a distinctive feel, and these don't.
Do you not think that's why, though, is fads lasted longer? Because it took longer for them to spread? Where now, when fads come...
Or it took longer for people to realize how fucking stupid
it takes like, what?
Why were we wearing tie-dye? It looks like shit.
There's fads that come and go so fast. There's no... It's like, if you want to look at fads, it's like, what was the fad last year? It's not, what was the fad in the 2010s?
I don't know. I wonder if, like, 20 years from now, they'll make movies about this era, and then they'll give it a distinctive feel that, like, it's true the feel they give it, but we didn't feel like it had that at the time. It just felt like the present.
I don't know if you
It
could.
just felt like you're living day to day.
I don't know if you could. That was a cool commentary that Bill Burr talked about in for his show F His Family. He was doing an interview about it. And he's like, I hate how shows always have, like, this show takes place in the 70s, so it's everything 70s. Everyone's driving a car from the 70s. Like, everybody didn't drive a car from the 70s when they lived in the 70s. They had cars from the 50s and the 40s. And, you know, like...
Right. I think that, yeah, that's definitely true. Like, I've definitely heard, especially for the 60s, like, you know, they still voted for Nixon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, not everyone was a flower child and tie-dye smoking
of course
pot
not,
and doing
yeah.
acid. Like, there were definitely some very conservative people that were basically still in the 50s, way into the late 60s.
But that was definitely a movement. That was a clear movement.
Yeah, the distinctive part of the 60s was that.
I know what the distinctive part of the late 2010s will be is the outrage culture.
Yeah,
that's
true.
a very distinctive.
Yeah, you know what? I think now they'll definitely have, for this era, the whole just
PC and outrage
obsession
culture.
about race, and PC did not exist 10 years ago.
Which is weird.
It's an unbelievable obsession.
Like, I didn't think
So,
racism
I
was
think
like...
it's somewhat of a distinction.
It seemed like people have pushed the idea that racism is a thing more.
I feel like it's really just that marketers getting desperate, and now they know how to get clicks. If they put it about race,
no, I'm totally...
you're definitely going to get a click.
It's like, I get there's still racist people around, but, like, if we're going to say, like, there's not enough to protest about.
Yeah. I don't see Klan rallies. I've never seen one in my entire life. But I feel like I read about them a lot. I see news stories a lot. Which makes me feel like they're not really happening, really.
There's like...
Maybe like some retarded hillbillies are putting on a Klan rally in middle of nowhere America.
I'm
and,
sure.
Like, you know, reporters are coming and writing
I'm
about
sure in
it.
the South there are some Klan meetings. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's many. Even in the South. I was in the South. I didn't feel any racism. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Chloe!
Huh?
Does China, like, by decades, do you feel like there was a very distinctive, like, 80s China, very distinctive 90s China?
I do recognize 80s China.
What about 90s? Does
Not
it blend
really.
to 2000s?
90 was kind of...
That's weird. That's
Back in line,
similar
maybe.
to ours. It's like it's sort of a 90s feel.
That's where the blend starts to fade away and it all just becomes one big...
But is that just because we lived it?
Giant, poofy.
It could be, or it could be because, like, home recordings became more of a thing, and, like, TV was so much that we actually have records. Real records, not just the way people remembered the distinctive thing. That's a guess.
That makes sense, too.
Yeah.
The more you have photographs and pictures, the more you can realize not everything had a very specific thing. Like a look.
Yeah, you'd be like... Not all those fuckers are wearing bell bottoms. Some of them just look normal.
Not everybody in the 70s wore bell bottoms, that's for sure. 90s had like the Jinkos and like the like chains and all that stuff.
Yeah, you never see that.
The dyed blonde hair for when Eminem came out, that was a big thing. In fact, did you watch the 21 Jump Street remake?
I watched the first one. I haven't seen them.
Which was hilarious. Don't you remember where they had, like, it took place in the 90s, they showed him growing up? There was a part where he was wearing, like, those giant Jinkos, a white shirt, and that, like, bead necklace. And that was a 90s look for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely 90s look. You're right. But I just can't think of the 2000s. But I wasn't in high school during most of that, so I guess maybe I wouldn't know. Because maybe
that's
kind
actually a
of
good
like
point,
the
too.
youth drive it.
Yeah.
Because they're the only dumb ones that will think like, oh, you know what? This looks good. I look good in these Jinkos. All the adults are being like, fucking moron. No one's going to wear that in 10 years. It looks just stupid.
That's actually a really good point. By the time you're out of school, you don't follow trends like that.
I got to show Chloe Jinkos.
She doesn't know what Jinkos are?
Probably don't.
You don't need to know what Jinkos are, really.
Oh, those? Yeah, it was a thing, I remember.
In the 90s?
No, yeah, when I was in school. I mean, early 2002, I see guys. I mean, by guys, I mean like boys.
Yeah, that probably lasted in the early 2000s. I'm sure that did.
It's
Because it was late
The baggy
90s.
jeans, right?
Oh, 90s Stars jackets.
Yeah,
That's
starter
another
jackets
thing.
for sure.
Definitely
What's the?
Starter jackets. They're like, they just had the football team. Everyone had them.
Oh, those. Yeah, those were actually. Are you talking about kind of like a bomber jacket, but it's for the football?
Yeah, kind of. Something like that.
It
Like a
was
hoodie,
just
but
recently back in trend, like last year.
I really think the biggest issue is what you said is we're not in high school anymore, so we don't see or follow trends at all.
Yeah, I feel like I wear the same shit I wore 10 years ago.
Yeah,
It hasn't changed.
Pretty much.
I just wear the same stuff.
I've actually like recently thrown out like half of my clothes, and I don't like I wear like the same 5 to 6 shirts every week.
Yeah, I do too. I tried it, like, I don't know, do you ever get the, notion that, like, that's not enough? Like, do people notice, like,
No,
that guy only wears 5 shirts in different rotations?
I don't care though.
I don't know. I always try to get a little more than 5, so it doesn't feel like I only have 5 shirts.
I'm
and I
almost
just vary the
I'm
order.
more envious of people who have even less. Like, you know Pink Tony. You met Pink Tony, right?
That dude is the weirdest.
All he
fucking
has is a
person
pink
I've
shirt.
ever met in my life.
That's great.
He doesn't only have one, though.
No, but I'm saying all he has is pink shirts. I would like to be at that point, but I kind of like.
You want to be a guy that wears all
No.
pink? Trust me. You don't want to be the guy that wears all pink. It's very
I like
strange.
having a variety of clothes, but I like having a minimal variety. Like, even when I have
Did he ever-
20 shirts, I usually only wear the same 7 anyway, so why not just get rid of the other 13?
That's true. Well, did you ever ask him for why he always wore pink?
I think it's
Or always
just
wears
like a, I don't want to say Einstein thing, but just one of those things where he doesn't care about fashion, and so the less choices he makes in life.
Do you think that guy is secretly colorblind?
He actually thinks he has differently colored shirts. No one's told him they're pink.
I think he would be really confused considering we call him Pink Tony.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's like,
Why is everyone calling me Pink Tony? I'm
Tony.
gonna have to tell him he has to listen to this episode.
It's all great.
I don't know. I like the idea of just wearing the same thing over and over. You know what? It might be like a sort of like just a personality thing. Like Jodan Schlansky on Conan O'Brien always wears the same thing. Do you ever watch those interviews?
No, I don't watch it.
Oh my
I
god.
watch Conan in like a
Dude, you
decade.
need to watch Jodan Schlansky ones.
I have no idea who that is.
You will. Trust me, when you watch him.
Okay.
Yeah, let's watch one together because you have to get the feel for this guy. I got to get a good one though.
Tell me what to
It's
Google
hard.
on the YouTube.
It's hard to just describe him. I'm gonna look.
George.
Jordan.
Okay. Oh, Jordan. Well, you know what? Google's good enough to know what.
Was it really?
Yeah, they brought it up.
Okay. Click on the one that has Conan and Jordan plan their trip to Italy. That will give you a good idea of his personality.
All right, you done?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's weird.
Yeah. So now you get the idea. He's very robotic, reptilian, and different.
Yeah, he like until the very end, he actually eventually laughed. But no matter how ridiculous Conan was, he just kept a straight face and would just.
So that
respond
laughing
normal.
though, when he does that, it's when it's like him acting very out of his normal character. It's very weird.
Right.
On the trip, if you watch those episodes, there's like 2 other times he does it, and it's always like at inappropriate, weird times. And he's like, "Why are you laughing like this?"
So that's just some random person that works for him that he's noticed is just really
Yes.
weird and was like, you know what? We'll make a
Well,
show out
during
of
the
this.
writers' strike, when he was at NBC, he started doing little segments where he just started like messing with staffers and stuff like that. And that was one of the staffers
okay.
that, like, obviously they have like odd chemistry because they're so completely opposite.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend watching some of his videos though. They're always so funny, just because it's so funny just to see how that guy acts.
I've been to here. I've been to here. I've been to here.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Interesting.
But anyways, he always wears a black t-shirt, V-neck, and like
black jeans, like always on.
He always looks like he belongs on the cover of Douche
Yes,
Monthly.
yes, precisely. All right, about that time. Later.